In this episode of Pop Culture Weekly, it's all about the Amy Winehouse biopic Back to Black. I talk with Marisa Abela and Sam Taylor Johnson. Let's go.
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and I am so hyped that you are hanging out with me for another episode of the show. Today is all about the Amy Winehouse biopic Back to Black, which you've got to see. It's in theaters now. If you're a fan of, biopics or Amy Winehouse or, compelling dramas, it really is a great film. You can see my full review up on popcultureweekly.com, and I go into in depth on, the film, and the performances are absolutely incredible. And Marissa does all of her own singing, which is a big task when you're, emulating a iconic voice like Amy Winehouse. So let's get right into it. I talk with Marisa Abela, who plays Amy Winehouse, and Sam Taylor Johnson, who directs it. Here we go.
Hey, thank you both for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. I loved Back to Black. It's an amazing film.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. So this question is for both of you, but Marisa, I'll start with you. Do you feel that there is a responsibility or pressure or something like that when you're portraying, a person who has lived,
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely, there's definitely a responsibility. I feel that the biggest responsibility you have is to the person that you're playing, and to play them authentically and with a hell of a lot of, awareness and and I think that comes from preparation. I think that you have to work as hard as you can to get inside their skin. I think with someone like Amy particularly, there's a lot of from the outside in with her. We've seen her story play out, but we've seen it play out sort of from a more sort of voyeuristic point of view. So to be the person that's inside her, I felt it was important that I was really inhabiting her soul, that of course the mannerisms are important and the voice and the physicality and all of those things are necessary for it to be a recognizable performance as Amy Winehouse. But most importantly, I wanted there to be just the feeling of Amy, the essence of Amy just being overpowering in this movie, because it was her soul as well as her artistry that was what made everyone fall in love with her in the first place.
I love that. Thank you. And Sam, similarly for you, although, you obviously did Nowhere Boy, which has a bit of that element to it, obviously. But how about for you in general with that?
Yeah, I think there's an enormous responsibility, and I really felt it with this particularly. I felt it with, Nowhere Boy and John Lennon. But with this, it just felt very different. And I felt like one of the most important things for me was to come to it with no judgment. To sort of just come to it with absolute humanity in the hope that people would also respond to that in a way and look at her life as complex, as not just, a victim of her tragedy, but, look at the creative soul of who she was, and just to really celebrate the music again, and to sort of keep everyone, on track with the music, and that be the sort of North Star of who she was.
I love that. Thank you both so much. That's my time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for everybody to see Back to Black.
Me too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Marisa Abela and Sam Taylor Johnson. I love their insight into the filming of this movie. It's got to be really tough, I would think, when you're doing a biopic, especially one where, that person lived recently, I always wondered about that, if the person is still with us or, it's been relatively recent. Is there extra pressure Or, is it easier if you're playing like some historic figure that none of us were around for from 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago or whatever? Is that easier? So it always intrigues me. Back to Black is in theaters right now. I do recommend a watch. It's a great film, and like I said, the performances are incredible. Both the acting performances and the musical performances. So huge props to the cast and crew of Back to Black for making that happen. That's got to be a huge undertaking, especially with, somebody with that iconic voice like Amy Winehouse. So that is our show for this week. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on socials, or if you're on the iHeartRadio app, use that talkback button, and I might just feature you on an episode of Pop Culture Weekly. Make sure to hit the reviews. Podcast.popcultureweekly.com will give you all of the info that you need on the show and the guests and all of that stuff. And I will see you next week. I love you. We out.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
And I go back to Black.